Good evening, YouTube model railroader fans. I'm Ray. Welcome to the show. For what it is. Hey, there's a couple things I want to try and do here tonight. Got a couple of things that I've been kind of working on here, and some other things going on. But I think taking a page from Mr. Walt World, I think we'll do a couple shout-outs. Number one, Mr. Walt. Thank you for replying, and I'm really looking forward to some more updates. And you know, one of these days, you and me, my friend, we got to catch up and run this thing over here. But we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But a couple other things, you know, like I said, well, the last video, I think I'm up to vlog number 25, and it happens to be September 7th, which reminds me, before I go too much farther, as we are approaching, and I've said this numerous times, that I don't like to combine politics and hobby, because it doesn't work. But I am going to make one exception, because of the fact that, as we all know, 4 days from now is September the 11th, 9/11, and I don't think it would be right if I didn't do, you know, at least a couple seconds or a moment of silence for the 2,000 or 2,900 plus folks that perished in the Twin Towers. So unfortunately, you're going to be just looking at my ugly mug for a couple minutes, or for a minute here, but we're going to proceed. So may they rest in peace. You know, like I was saying, you know, the day is September the 7th. It's September the 7th, 2015, and it'll be 14 years ago this Friday that, you know, we were attacked on our own soil for what it is, and I'm going to stop there. So, anyway, on to something new, something different, something odd. Give me a second, and we're going to go ahead and do something new here, so give me just a second. What's on the bench, Ray? Well, we'll see how that little thing just worked, but anyway, what's on the bench, Ray? Well, what's on the bench is a mess. Still messing with the big build contest, obviously. I really haven't had a whole lot of luck with it lately. I need to, because the walls aren't lining up the way, because the walls aren't lining up the way I want them to. I need to get some bracing and or some sort of a jig that I can hold the walls together and hold them in place the way I want them to be held in place, so that way when I glue them, they're actually seamless. And I haven't gotten there, and I know I'm down to 23 days before this thing has to be done, and I haven't gotten there yet. Things called life get in the way. That's one thing that's on the bench. The other thing that was actually on the bench was new idea for the layout, which I'm sure you all have had a chance to look over. I'm now up to actually revision Charlie of that plan. Just some minor modifications and adding in some other sidings and things of that nature, but I'm really happy with the plan thus far. Granted, it's still a work in progress, but one of the things that came to light was, you build it, how are you going to operate it? So, because of the fact that I'm still DC and will be DC in the foreseeable future, it became the issue of, yeah, how am I going to operate the layout? Well, this afternoon, oh, there it is. Sorry. Sorry. This afternoon, I went ahead and oh, that's what I did with the back. Okay. I found out that a buddy of mine had actually donated, which is probably a good way to put it. He had actually donated some parts. And inside of those parts were, dielectric grease, sorry, were a couple of these doodads. Now, granted, it's a Tyco. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Go ahead and continue to laugh now. But what I liked about it was the fact that, for the most part, and I guarantee you I'm not going to be able to get this thing back together the way it was when I took it apart. So anyway, I had taken the back of the thing off because I wanted to see inside. But one of the things I thought was cool was it's basically pretty much handheld. Kind of see where I'm headed here? You have to remember, folks, I'm a simple man. And I also don't like to spend more money than I have to, namely because of the fact that I don't have it. So, I have to do things as, I remember, I think it was Model Railer said, doing things on the cheap. So that's what I do. I kind of look for things, and this here happened to be one of those things I was like, this is really nice. It's a small power pack. Well, there's a problem. The problem is the locomotive doesn't start moving until it hits like level 50 on this thing. First problem. The second problem is it gets a little warm. So what I'm thinking about doing is basically taking something similar to that and basically reworking it to get it to do what I want it to do, again, on the cheap. Because I actually did find somebody that does build tethered handheld throttles for $45 a piece. $45 a piece, and I need 3 of them. Yeah, do the math. In other words, not going to happen. Like I said, I've got other things I need to take care of. So, you know, and like I said, that's going to be a while before I rebuild this thing anyway. Who knows? Things could change between now and the time that I actually rebuild this thing. But it's always good to have contingency plans. So, give me a second because there's something else and I forgot to bring it over here. So, give me a minute. Alright, I'm back. Now, for those that have been around for a while, this next piece may actually bring up probably some unique conversations. But what I'm going to get into here is we had a slight casualty on the layout the other night when my buddy came over with the S-gauge locomotives for us to play around with, and of course I never did get video and all that, but that's okay. I was more worried to see if I could get them to work. But at any rate, there was a minor catastrophe. This thing fell off the fishing wire, and basically what happened was the main brace, and I know this is probably going to be hard as heck to see on video, but what the hey. This here is part of the gearbox, and of course it shows up real well on the white. But this is part of the gearbox, and as you can see, these two posts here, this one and this one, actually go up inside of the body of the thing, and the shell goes around it. Well, as you can see, it's now in 2 pieces. Apparently, it gave way. I think this is almost like a nylon plastic or something very similar to. So I'm going to have to try and figure out, and I've got glue, and obviously glue might do it, it may not do it, but I'm going to have to sit down and figure out a way of putting this thing back together Here's the other half. Because yes, it does have, it still has all the parts, it still rolls. The whole thing still sort of works. It's falling apart because of its age. I mean, the thing's only, you know, now it's just, now the whole the whole barrel just fell apart on me here, which isn't unusual. This thing is so old and so fragile. I really didn't. I had really thought about not putting it up to begin with, but it's been a staple on the layout for such a long time, and yeah, it uses D batteries. It had been on the layout for such a long time that I decided, you know what, I want to put it back. So, and unfortunately, it's kind of fallen apart in more ways than one here. So I'm going to have to take it apart and deal with it, and oh, that's not good. That's one of the battery terminals. Oh, that's where it came from. Okay. Yeah, this thing is just falling apart as we speak. So anyway, that's basically what I've got going on. You know, it's been a couple of weeks, I guess, since the last time I was down here, and yeah, I'm still working. Well, I haven't been, but I'm trying to get stuff together for the big build. I definitely want to get that thing knocked out. But also, I tried something new on this video when I started. The opening little piece was actually my fat fingers on a old CK601 that I play around with, and actually my daughter gets more enjoyment out of it than I do. It was given to me for Christmas years ago, but you know, she plays piano and plays around. This year she's taking music theory, so she's been playing around with that thing a lot too. So, but you know, I know I'm getting close on time, so hopefully I'll have some updates on a couple of things. I'm hoping that my my logo is going to get done. I've been talking about that for a couple of months now. I got a buddy who's a graphic designer, and he's been working on some things. He keeps asking me questions, and I know it's a low priority for him, so it's not. I'm not rushing him. But every time I see him, I'm like, hey, where are we at, man? I'd like to get the thing done. I'd like to see what it looks like. But at any rate, outside of the big build and the other stuff that I've got sitting here on my bench, you know, you all know the deal. You wait for the highball, green tracks ahead. We'll catch you next time. Remember 9/11. We'll see you. Have a good one.